So here's what happened. I was invited to come give a lecture today at a major conference for project managers about one of my favorite subjects, the difference between victory and success, which is crucial, obviously, for people who are managing a million tasks, a million people, and need to make sure that the connections happen. With that said, I was told there'd be a couple hundred people, and I showed up early. I went to the lecture hall. I filmed a clip for you guys, and I said, okay, how I'm going to deal with it, because I started feeling the butterflies in my stomach. As I walk out, someone grabs me and says, what were you doing there? And I told them I have a group, I'm making the WhatsApp, and blah, blah, blah. And they said, but that's not your lecture hall. And they walked me into here. I don't know if you can see, but there are layers, there are side boundaries. You have probably, I'd say, somewhere between 800 to 1,000 seats in this venue. And said, this is where you'll be lecturing. Now, here's what I spoke about in the first clip. I talked about this idea of imposter syndrome, this idea that you don't feel that you belong, you don't feel that you're ready, and you have to bring yourself regardless to the playing field and get up there and go to war. And I felt it in that energy, I felt it in that room, I felt I don't belong. And I said, I'm going to do this regardless, I'm going to challenge myself. But all of a sudden, when the playing field got bigger, when it became much more scary, right? When it became much more meaningful, all of a sudden I said, hell yes, this is what I wanted. This is what I'm here for. This is the value that I'm designed for. This is why I brought myself to this position. This is why I went through the brain surgery. This is why I've researched. This is why I put in all the hard blood, sweat, tears, endless hours of sleep that I've given up in order to make this happen. Now, it's something super interesting, at least in my regards, because I say to myself, hold on, it got scarier, so all of a sudden I'm more ready? Sometimes the answer is yes. What happens is that we see that as human beings, that when our back is against the wall, when the stakes become that much bigger, we become much more ready, much more willing to come and step up to that challenge. I can tell you that I've shifted from a place of imposter syndrome to excitement. And if you even want to see that clip about imposter syndrome that I initially made, please send me a DM and I'll send it to you privately. I can't even make this up if I wanted to. But now the goal for me is to say, all right, how do I contain this energy? How do I make sure that I deliver ultimate value to people and step up to that next place? And the challenge for you is when you will feel imposter syndrome, don't make it small. Know that sometimes that even if it becomes a bit more scary, it might be that much better for you. That's where mental toughness is built. It's built by getting up on that stage when it doesn't feel right, not when it feels right. Wish me luck. I wish you luck. See you soon.